What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone, and it's international break, obviously. So, news pops up, and this is good news from a very good source that Tudor is under observation, meaning he's not safe. He's safe for now, but the club has set important goals for the season, and if they have the feeling that Tudor is not going to hit those goals, they could intervene, basically. That's what Matteo Moretto is saying. That's what we'll talk about. And there's also a twist to it because it's very important to understand that this board is different. This board didn't choose Tudor. They came in and Tudor was there, and there were no alternatives because they came in very late, in my opinion, to snatch up a top coach or whatever, an interesting coach who was free and available at the time. So before we get into the report, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, let's dive straight into it. Okay, Tudor. A lot of talk, so I'll read out the news immediately from Matteo Moretto. He said that Juve asked Tudor to maintain the consistency in results and sport management of the team, basically, shown at the end of last season. The club continues to have confidence in the coach, but is keeping him under observation regarding performance, results, and the management of new signings, as Juve have big ambitions and important objectives for this season. If you remember correctly, Comolli in the summer said that we need to compete. This is Juve, we want to compete. So the intentions of the club are clear. Now, you can flip it and say, well, if you have such important, goals, if you believe that we should be aiming to win stuff, etc., you should have built a better squad. That is one thing. However, that's not how management or Comolli or a board, whatever you want to call it, will look at it. They will look at it being, we gave you the tools to do a job we think you should be doing, with the tools we handed you. If we feel that maybe not today, not maybe 100% not today, I don't think they're sitting there being like, okay, you're on the hot seat if you don't beat Como, However, in a couple of weeks' time, maybe a month, because it's a hectic 2 months coming up, like actually hectic, where you can be completely out of any whatever, title, hope, or whatever, or just maintaining a push forward, even faking it, and you can be in serious trouble in the Champions League. That can all happen in the next 2 months. I have no doubt that this board will act on it. Even when I'm sitting here, I'm like, who the hell are they going to sign mid-season? I have zero doubts that I wouldn't be shocked if the club, this board, will act on it. Again, because they didn't pick Tudor. It was very obvious and well documented. They wanted Conte. Conte said no. They went for Gasperini. They said no. They wandered around a little bit. Marco Silva, links, this and that, like all confirmed sources. And then they were like, you know what? It's too late. We came in way too late to change things. So we're just going to keep Tudor and we're going to hand him a contract otherwise, because Tudor wanted a new contract. Otherwise, he will be walking. The famous quotes where he said, let me know if you want me here, yes or no. So the club was stuck. They were in a situation where if they didn't kept Tudor, for example, then it would have been over for them. They would have come in a situation where they wanted Conte. Conte said no. They wanted Gasperini. Something happened. And then Tudor could have said, I'm walking. And then they have no. So they kind of panicked and they weren't like, okay, we'll keep Tudor. Remember all the quotes leading up to it and was like, we will see after the club World Cup, etc. And then Tudor came out and said, no, I want to know now. And the club was like, okay, we need to know you. Like, we need to know. We let you know now because, wow, you're asking for it. We're failing to sign. Like, they did what they had to do in terms of they came in late. They had no other solutions. So they pulled the trigger and they were like, okay, whatever we think about Tudor, we need to park that a little bit. We just need to hope he does a good job and we go further with Tudor and we move on. That was the situation. So, I mean, it's very obvious that they will look at this if this goes south, in the next couple of weeks, and they will be like, okay, we're not going to keep watching this because, again, we gave you a shot. We are not the main target for us. You are not the main guy. And I think everybody knows that. You can, again, go back to the Tudor interview after the last game, and it was like, what the hell just happened? When pre-game they were saying after the Klopp World Cup we're all happy, and Tudor was like, screw that, no, I'm not doing that. And then his agent came out saying, well, Tudor was a bit pissed, stay calm, etc. So all that into a mixer. Yeah, he is under observation, I think, from this board. I don't think the board is sitting there being like, you will have time until the end of the summer. I don't think it's that situation. So the pressure is on for Tudor, fair or not fair. He's been here for 20 games. I don't like that people are trying to dismiss the fact that he's been here for 21 games, and they're acting like he's just in charge starting this summer. That's not the case. He admittedly said the team still has no identity. Like, if you say these things and then in the end the results are not even giving you like a leeway to play with, then yeah, at the end you will get moved on. Like, that's how football works. It's no shock. That's how football has been working for ages. It's not something new. So he's under observation, and he has a tough task in the next couple of weeks. It's Como after the break away, difficult game. It's Real Madrid, horrible game, and it's Lazio away, difficult game. And you have some injuries and you have some issues with the squad. You still have no clue how to use attack. I think those are the things the club are looking at as well. They're like, okay, you have 3 attackers and you cannot use one of them. Like, not one of them is going. When they're starting, none of them is firing. Only Vlahovic off the bench, he can probably potentially do a job. But when you start the striker, he doesn't play well. You will look at that. The board will look at that. They will look at the fact that we can see goals for fun. We kept a clean sheet against Milan, and it was a miracle. If you look at the stats, just at the games, it's a miracle. Even in that game that we kept a clean sheet. We should never have kept a clean sheet. It was ridiculous. It wasn't like half chances. They had clear-cut chances, like open play chances. So it's kind of a miracle. But I think this board will be looking at those things and will say, there's no real improvement, or not the improvement we were looking for. So we're going to need to make a decision. Otherwise, our own jobs, Chiellini, Comolli, is also on the line, because they're tying their future to someone. They're not going to tie their future, to someone they didn't pick, they didn't really believe in. They're not going to do that. So for Tudor, it's a panic station, but I think he understands the situation where he knows, I'm going to need to deliver. I'm going to need to step up. Otherwise, I will be in trouble, down the line, maybe before the end of the season. So again, let's see if these players will back him. Let's see if these players will fight for him, as they're saying. They all love Tudor. It's more fun. There's a lot of enthusiasm. He's great with the players. Good, but now you need to deliver the results. Otherwise, the club will look at the players and they will say, you will get the guy we are handing you. And if it's not working, you guys will be moved on. I think that's the type of situation we should have at the club. There's no way the players should be in control of, we train too hard, it's not fun in training, etc. Because now apparently it's fun in training and we still look bad, Anyways, that's the reporting. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you believe the club will pull the trigger early on, meaning December, whatever, if results actually go really south in the next couple of weeks? Let me know in the comments, and yeah, I'll speak to you guys later. Ciao.